Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me today for another Alfred Hitchcock Presents review. Today, I'm going to be talking about Season 5, Episode 5, No Pain, starring Brian Keith and Joanna Moore. And I thought overall No Pain was a solid episode. It's not an all-time great episode, but I enjoyed it most of the way through. I will say the ending, I thought, while the twist was decent, the way it was done was slightly unsatisfying, but it didn't ruin the episode. And like I said, overall, I thought this one was pretty good. So, we start with Hitchcock, and he's getting ready to announce the start of a boxing match. Don't really need to say too much more about that. It kind of goes with some of the themes of the episode. I thought it was fine. So then we start our main episode, and we are introduced to a man named Dave, and he is on a respirator, or I also believe they call it an iron lung sometimes, so he also can't move. He's pretty much stuck where he is. He's paralyzed, and we're also introduced to his wife, named Cindy, who doesn't seem to have much sympathy for this guy Dave anymore. She's also going to be going sailing with a man named Arnold, as it seems like they might have a thing going on. It's not said for how long, but Dave seems to know about it, and he doesn't seem too thrilled about it, but there's nothing he can really do. So then we see Dave watching them. He's got like kind of a mirror above his machine, which is kind of interesting, and he can see like the boat sailing, and he seems even more down. He has a nurse that's taking care of him. He just doesn't seem too happy. I can't really blame him. So then we get a flashback where Dave is proposing to Cindy like on a beach. It's a pretty good scene. It's pretty romantic if you're into this kind of thing. So we can see they were happy at one time. So then Cindy's back with this man named Arnold. They're back from sailing. And I have to say there's a lot of tension between the three, between Dave, Arnold, and Cindy. And we'll find out later that Dave's doing a pretty good acting job here, because there's more to this than we think. The nurse is also leaving at this time, so Arnold offers to give her a ride to the bus stop, I think. Then he says he'll be back for dinner. So Dave starts asking questions about this Arnold guy. And you can tell that Cindy has this idea about pulling the plug on him and killing him from the respirator. And shockingly, Dave knows this. He doesn't seem surprised at all, which makes for kind of an interesting dynamic the rest of the episode in the next scene, where Cindy actually takes Dave out of the machine. He says not to, but she says it's okay if he's out for like 10 minutes or less. He'll, I guess, be okay. So this leads, as you can imagine, to a strange situation where Cindy's admitting she's going to kill him, although she says she's not going to do it today, which I thought was kind of odd. Dave seems really sad about this, but again, there's nothing he can really do about it. But he says he still wants to live because he can still think, still has money, which he hints at that he had to fight hard to get, even though we don't get any more on that. So he definitely still has things going for him. And he has to be put back in the respirator. And Cindy's definitely taking her time. She starts complaining about this whole situation's unfair to her. She can't divorce him because people will think badly about her, things like that. But it's honestly hard to generate too much sympathy for her based on the fact we know that she wants to kill him. So at this point, we're getting closer to the 10 minutes, and the acting between the two, Brian Keith and Joanna Moore, is good here, and you can really feel the tension, and you're not sure if this woman was serious about putting him back in the lung or respirator, whatever you want to call it, in time or not. But eventually she does put him back in, and it also takes her another minute to put the power back on. It's a well done scene overall. So at this point, Arnold comes back. I guess he took the nurse to the bus stop, but he suggests to Cindy that they should go for a swim before dinner. And here's kind of where the episode lost me just a little bit. So Arnold comes back. He tells Dave that their plan worked and that he did in Cindy. So basically, they were in on this together the whole time. It's hinted at that they've known each other for a while. So I guess Arnold was just pretending to be interested in Cindy all this time. Although he does say he was tempted by her offer, to stay with him, but he ultimately sides with Dave. Now, my issue here was that this is all done off screen. I thought for the buildup of the episode, we needed to see what actually happened to Cindy, not just be told. Others might find it to their satisfaction. I know this isn't like a slasher movie. I didn't expect a whole bunch of blood and gore on Alfred Hitchcock Presents, but they have shown killings before, and it was kind of disappointing that We just hear Arnold's description of what happened. But I guess it was fine. But anyway, I do like the twist that Dave and Arnold were in on this together, as I actually didn't see that coming, even though it's a pretty basic twist. Probably should have figured it out, but I didn't. So anyway, the episode just kind of ends that way, where Arnold helps out Dave, and I guess he's going to survive at least for a while longer. So like I said, No Pain is a good episode. I give it a 3.5 out of 5. There is a lot of tension, and even though I didn't love the ending, others might find it to their satisfaction. So I do recommend No Pain, at least as a one-time watch. As always, thanks for your support, and thanks for watching.